Hey there, in today's video, I am back to drawing, pulling out a drawer and sampling, testing, experimenting, playing with an art supply that I have not used in a while. And today it is acrylic, you can see those, acrylic inks. So I do not have that many of them, but I sample and swatch all the colors and then make some decisions about how to use it and just kind of demo like, okay, how am I going to use these? What I realize is I obviously used them in the past and I've kind of stopped using them and I'm not really sure why, because a few of my bottles are completely empty. A few have kind of gotten maybe slightly unusable. And there are some that I have actually duplicates of. So I decide today to keep all the acrylic inks that I have, even the bright ones. And I figure I can, do some mixing and if I want to dull those down or use them as backgrounds, which sometimes a background is great if you have a brighter color. So anyway, I hope that you are encouraged and inspired to go try, swatch, experiment, play with your art supplies that you have not used in a while, because I know we all have that drawer or drawers, in my case, of supplies that just get overlooked or not used. So here is another art supply that I'm going to show you today and demo how I'm going to use it.
Okay, let's, well, first off, let's begin, which is one of my favorite words. But let's pull out the next drawer that we are going to do today, which is all the inks, the Liquitex ink, acrylic inks that I have been accumulating and that I have not used in a while. It appears that there are some duplicates. I can see that just from glancing right now. So I'm going to get this set up and then we are going to, maybe swatch out the inks and just, experiment and see what we've got. Okay, I do not have that many duplicates, just the carbon black, transparent burnt umber, and transparent burnt sienna. So I'm going to set those aside and then we will get started with the colors that are remaining. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is just sample all the colors, just kind of do a swatch real quick, because I have my favorites. I know what those are going to be, but I think I need to try them all because I'm kind of curious. I have a vivid red orange. I just wouldn't have seen that coming. So this is a art journal book that I made in a video a few videos ago, and I have put clear gesso down just so that the paper will not absorb it to the same degree otherwise. So we're going to start just with these neutrals. I'm going to start with this carbon black, and I am going to shake them up a little bit. It does say to do that, but also these haven't been used in a while. Although some, like this is almost gone. So obviously there was a time in my creative journey that I used them more than others. Okay, so obviously this is carbon black. It's black. What's not to like? I'm going to just take a little bit of water and see what happens. It's pretty opaque, isn't it? Okay. So there's not much difference with water. Although I guess if I kept drawing it down, I wonder, obviously it would get lighter and lighter. I do want to get multiple colors on here, so I think I will stop there. But yeah, you can see if you keep watering it down. These are, obviously they're ink, so they're fairly runny. This one is the transparent burnt umber, which, okay, now it's running, so I gotta work quickly here. Okay, let's pull that down. It's like they kind of remind me of a watercolor. Obviously, different properties from a watercolor because it's acrylic, but of course I like that color. This is and I'm gonna hold that page so that it doesn't drain. I'm gonna pause for a second and get something to make this firm. Okay, I've stabilized my journal a little bit, so it's gonna lie a little bit flatter. We're gonna go on to the burnt sienna. So this one has a little bit of red in it, which I do like. When I'm painting, I like a paint color like that because it makes a good, if you're looking for a more realistic color for faces or for skin tones. I do like a burnt sienna. Okay, so they're still kind of dripping, but that's okay. I just kind of want to get the gist of the color. Let's go with and this I'm almost out of. So clearly there was a day when I used my inks a lot, because this one, and of course I love raw umber, so this one is almost gone. So let's see if we can get enough to kind of get an example, which is, just raw umber. I love raw umber. It's just a beautiful brown. Let's pull that down a little bit just to kind of get the idea. Okay. Then let's go on to the transparent raw sienna, which is another color that I really like. And see what happens there. Okay, get some water here, pull that down. Yeah, it's just it's such a beautiful yellow. Okay, I don't know that this is gonna show up, so I'm gonna do it very lightly. This is just titanium white. So since I'm working on kind of a white, it looks a little grainy. And then let's see, I probably have some color on here. Yes, I do. Let's see if I can get that off. Dab this up. Not that it matters, since we kind of know what white looks like. So let's just, this, I don't know if it's just old, but that one had a little bit of granulation in it. It's just a pretty white. I mean, what's not to like about it? Okay, I was gonna test this. Obviously, this neutral gray, I don't think I can get any out. It's gone. So clearly I was using in the back in the day, I was using the inks more than I think. Okay, so next up is a red oxide. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that looks as it's, even as it's dripping and whatever. So, okay, I do like a red oxide, because I'm not a big red person in general, but I do like a red oxide. So, just because it kind of has a grungier, color to it. Okay, and then here is here's the vivid red orange, which just kind of perplexed by that. See, look how bright that is. I mean, most people would be like, this is awesome. But you could, these can be mixed. So you could put a color with that. Yikes. That's just so bright for me. I don't know. But, and then also the quinacridone magenta is also super bright. But I will say, and obviously it looks like I've used them a little bit, I will say I do like sometimes to use these brighter colors. Now that's going to come right into the magenta, because this is another page that it's not lying completely flat. That is what happens when you take out some of the pages of a book. But we'll just kind of go over this way. I mean, it's lovely. And even this is kind of, it's, for the background, I just like and this is just beautiful. I mean, I'm just looking at this color, which was is that the burnt sienna? I think so. Ooh, that's pretty. It's got that orange tones and the yellow in there. So, not bad. And this is kind of sprayed into each other. But now I have 3 blues to try out. The turquoise deep, which turquoise is always a favorite of mine. I got to squeeze these on. I got to go a little thinner. And so I got 4 to put along here. And that had some pink on it, but that's pretty. Okay, and then the phthalo blue green shade, which I know I'm not saying that right. Phthalo, anyway, green, you know what I'm saying. It's like when I first learned how to say quinacridone, it's like, okay, once you learn how to say it, then you're fine, but before that you sound kind of like a blubbering fool. Okay. These are bright too, these blues. Obviously I love the turquoise, but I will say that, they're good. I do like sometimes to put a blue as an undercoating or a first layer for a portrait, because I love the blue peeking out. And this one is Prussian blue hue. Okay, I think we've got enough room there for the last one. And it looks very similar to the, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny, I don't have any greens. I don't really have any other yellows other than this. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. This is cerulean blue hue. That one also looks pretty grainy. Some of these must be old, but I think those should work just fine. They're so similar to like what you would use, how you would use a little bit of a watercolor, because they thin out so much and they're so runny. Anyway, okay, so this kind of gives you the gist of what I have in my stash. And unlike the stencils last week where I, yes or no, I got rid of some, I probably am not going to get rid of any, although if I were, it'd probably be this vivid red orange. Since I don't have that many different colors, I think I will keep them all for now. But I'm going to show you some ideas for how I think I might use these I'll pause and then show you some ideas for how I might use these.
For this first example, I am just going to work in this journal that I made that has these really, really crooked pages because of the glue I used, which was foolish. But anyway, I'm trying to use it up. It's watercolor paper, and this one has collage on it. And I think I'm just going to start by using this transparent raw sienna and just kind of making some marks on it. We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure how I want to use it. I really not. So, but I do know that I want to, take my brush and fill some in. Obviously that one had the blue on it still from when I was sampling. So, and I like, to kind of have it be on some of these textured pieces. I think what I might do is bring in some, let's see, not the burnt umber, but maybe the raw umber, even though I don't have a lot of that. But I'm going to look for places. What I like is the transparency of it, and it can give the parts that have some texture, it'll kind of go into those little cracks and crevices. So let's see what happens if I just kind of go over the top with this ink. I kind of like that, actually. So maybe I'll do that with all of it and use it more as a wash. Initially, I was thinking I would use it, as these lines, and I guess I could come in later and do that. But let's just do this for now. Okay, well, this is one way of using it, obviously, is to use it as a wash over the whole thing. So, which the nice thing about that is it kind of brings it all, it kind of unifies the page, unifies the colors. So, okay. All right. Well, okay, so that's one way. And actually, I think I like this page, here better. I guess I could let some of that drip, although I'm not a huge fan of drips, but that's fine. So I think I'm going to let this soak in and then think of another way to show you, to demo how I'm going to be using these inks moving forward, besides as a... Okay, for this one, this is just an art journal that I have. And I think I'm going to be bold and bring in some of this magenta. And I'm just going to make marks with this one and just see. I have a lot of texture in here. And I'm just going to see what happens if I, just do something as simple as that. What I also might do, now that I think of it, is I might pull out some... I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but just to kind of a few spots, just kind of see what happens, like you would with a watercolor, where you kind of get the watercolor to drip into the, or spread. And actually I have some, okay, so one thing leads to another. That's not really exactly what I was thinking I would do, but maybe what I will do is take a paper towel and dab at that. It's hard to know. Okay, let's just go for it. Doesn't matter, right? This is just, okay, so now, okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's what just happened. And actually, I think it's fine. I like it. I think I like the pink better this way. And, sometimes you get going and you just don't know what's going to happen. And that's what happened. Okay, let's do another one. I think I'm going to be very bold again because I have this black, and I think I'm going to use my red oxide, although if I was really being brave, I would use the vivid red orange. So that's what I'm going to do. I just now realized I can't use raw umber and raw sienna and all the time. So I have to kind of branch out, especially when I'm trying something new. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to like everything that happens, but I got to give it a try. So for this one, I think what I'm going to do, I keep saying this, I'm just going to make some marks and let it be. So I don't know really what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to, there I am. Okay. So, because I like to work in threes, there we go. And I probably should just let it go right there. So yeah, obviously the contrast on that is high, and I can see putting something over the top of that, because typically I'm not a super high contrast person. I like things with less contrast, but it is kind of fun to do this. And certainly I can use this and then paint over it if I want. So, but anyway, it just kind of gives you the idea. Obviously the little stopper on the bottle, on the tube, is a fun way kind of to draw and to make art and to do something different. It's just another technique. Okay, for this one, I'm going to purposely just put a bunch of the black on, and I'm going to just do a color wash with a larger brush here, and just kind of coat the paper to see how that goes. Oh yeah, it coats it like paint, but obviously it's thinner, and it's a lot more watery, but yeah, let's see. I'll be curious how that dries. Obviously, you can see some parts lighter, some parts darker. Okay, so that I could, you know what? Let's try it. Let's just throw in this, well, actually, let's do this lighter colored blue, the cerulean blue hue. Let's just see what happens, shall we? Okay. This it's got some kind of issue. I don't know. It's kind of chunky, and so probably it's old. So it's kind of weird how it's reacting. But, obviously this is wet on wet, and I'm going to kind of push it in because it just kind of is sitting on top in a weird way. But that just goes to show you, obviously I've had these inks for a while. So I think what I'm going to do is just combine the two. Let's just do it, right? Let's just see. I think that's pretty. The blue with the black. What's not to like? And it gets away from that chunkiness. That wasn't really my plan. Again. And you know what? I have a bunch on here. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper from behind me, just real quick, the same one. And I'm just going to use, oh, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, that is the best color ever. Okay. Wow. I love that color. That is, I hope that translates to you through the video camera. That is a beautiful blue. It's that, that's just the luck of the draw. You just don't know. Let's look on this one and see. I'm going to grab like a mark making tool. I don't know. It's so thin. I don't know if I can make any marks into it. Not really. You can kind of see them, but not really. Not really, because it's too thin. But, just fun to try. It's just fun to try new things. So there were some discoveries right there that I wouldn't have known. Okay, I'm going to do a discovery with every single one of these colors. So I got to get moving. For this one, I just took a piece of deli paper that I have made marks on, and I'm just going to throw some on top, some of the ink on top, and just see what happens, see how it reacts. Maybe this Prussian blue hue. Let's just, and then I think I'm going to, oh, it looks like a resist. Interesting. Okay, that is interesting. So let me grab my color shaper mover thingy, and let's just see what happens. Oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. So this is what experimenting is all about. You just don't know what's going to happen. So it's resisting the paint. So I'm not sure about that, but I think it's interesting. I'm trying to use it up so that it doesn't get, I like it. What a cool effect. Okay, see, again, didn't see that coming. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is just a page in my art journal that I have painted and then put white gesso over the top, I believe. And so, it's just one of those that I just keep adding and adding to it. So let's just find a color that might be fun to use. Let's go with the red oxide. And I'm just going to do, whoa, that was really something, wasn't it? Kind of made a mess over here, but but I'll wipe that up in a minute. Okay, so should I leave it? Should I not? What do we do? Most people would leave it. I don't know if I can. I want to do something with it. I want to do something with it. Okay, the parts that are really full, let's just full, thick, have a lot on them. Let's just see what happens. Okay, not sure about that. Not sure about any of this, but let's just kind of color this back part in then with it, since we're not sure. That's what happens. But I do like this color. But I think if I guess what I'm trying to show you is you can't be afraid of just experimenting, because that's all this is. It's just an experiment. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? As you can see underneath this, there's so many layers. I have painted and then repainted and then painted again. If I don't like this, I'll just put, some gesso over the top or black paint or whatever, So it's more about just seeing and exploring. And often that is something that I haven't been very good at, because I always think I have to have an end result that looks fabulous. And like, this is not any kind of end result at all. And in fact, it makes me want to just get rid of the whole thing. So I probably just need to stop, because, like, I can't stop right now because I don't like it. But I think you're not going to like everything. Okay, let's just wipe this off. It's not necessarily that everything has to be great. It's just sometimes I find that some are worse than others. So I'm going to use this to pick up that ink. And then, I might even, so that's the start of something else. I might even, I'm going to do it one more time, add some more ink to this and do it again. Should I do the same color? Should I do a different color? What do you guys think? See, now I kind of like that. That left some unexpected marks. Let's go in with, what should we use? Burnt umber. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I think I'll leave that to its own devices. I will not touch it, I promise, at least not till it dries. So just goes to show you, you just gotta, who knows, give it a try. For this one, I think I'm going to use turquoise, and maybe I'll do marks. Well, I keep saying I'm going to, but then I don't like what turns out. So, maybe I do half marks, half, I don't know why I put that over there when I'm over here. And just kind of see what happens. I could, so I do like just a short line. I could add water to some of them, you know what I mean? Like, some will be less thick and some will be more thick, and maybe some is just completely watered down, and I don't know. Okay. Because my idea was just to kind of try to make how I would actually use it if I was just pulling it out. And often that's what I'm doing, is creating a background with, something simple. So let's grab this and just see what happens. Okay. Maybe I make a few into circles. I like that. Okay. Okay. These thick ones, maybe that's the ones. Okay. Well, you just don't know. And it doesn't really matter, because honestly, most of this will eventually get covered up, because I like to paint, with all kinds of layers and all kinds of different things. So I'm trying to do circles with the ones that have the most ink on them. So we'll see. Okay. Well, that's one way to use it. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, I have a piece of like a burlap sack that it looks like I have put, I just have a stash of stuff that I have put some gesso over. And I think what I'm going to do is I just want to see how it reacts on like a softer fabric-y kind of surface. So let's try this burnt, I think let's do the blue because I feel like we might need something a little darker because I can see the red coming through. So I'm just going to kind of squirt a bunch on and then take a little bit slightly bigger brush and let's just see what happens. And oh, you can see that texture is really cool. I don't know, hopefully you can kind of see that. Wow, that's kind of fun. Well, it just shows you, like you can use all kinds of, it's kind of got my mind working. It's like, oh, I have other pieces of fabric that I could use to do something like this with. Now this is a little bright for me. So what I could do, the last time what mixed really well was was a little bit of the black. So let's just do that. Let's just see what happens. See if the black, how it reacts with this. Does it just take it all away? Does it just completely become black? Kind of. Or does it tone it down? Yeah. It's not bad. It's a great, it's just one more way to use your inks on top of different fabrics. I know it's hard to believe, but I actually have pages in, this is a newish art journal, that are white. I know. I mean, who would have thought, right? So for this last and final one I'm going to do, I am going to create just a background layer of this burnt sienna that I really liked the color. So I'm just going to put a bunch on here and then spread it out with a larger brush, and just such a pretty, I mean, I know it seems like, wow, how would you like that? But it's just so pretty. And I know it is kind of bright, but sometimes I guess I surprise myself. And honestly, it's, I guess it reminds me, I know it reminds me a little bit of fire, which I absolutely love. Any kind of, well, I don't like a wildfire that's, destroying property and stuff, but I do like just a fire, the smell of it and the crackle of the wood and all of that. So I think what I did is I'm going to put a little bit more. I like having the variety, in the color, the light and the dark. And over here, I spread it out a little bit too much, I think, because it wasn't supposed to look perfect. Okay, I think that's good. That was the final one. So I think I realized I just need to start, opening my drawers and pulling out the inks because they are, make a cool effect. I don't think I'm probably actually using them in the way necessarily they were designed. I think, I just typically, I think I'm going to like them more as a wash over something or creating a background like this. I think creating marks is fine. Obviously, I don't know if I'm impatient or I just don't give them enough effort. The other thing you could do, which I guess I didn't do, is just use a brush, and you dip it in and create lines and marks that way. So you don't have to just use them with the little stopper that they have, or the tip that they give you. So there's all kinds of ways that you could use this. So I hope that you open a drawer in your studio, in your craft room, whatever, and explore with those things that you have not used in a while, because you just never know what you might discover. And obviously, you already bought the other things, so maybe it's time to be creative in a new way.